So it took 19 days to start to shift my energy internally from where I was previously to where I am now, where I'm actually starting to see and feel palpable, noticeable difference. So I was really serious about implementing self-change. So what I'd done to reach that point within 19 days was bad habits had to go first. So for me, I'd fallen back into smoking cigarettes and vaping again, so that had to go. And that was a big one for me. I immediately started to exercise daily, meditate every morning without fail, and began the work of actually trying to police my thoughts and witness my thoughts and feelings, to really clean up my thoughts and start to renew my mind, which is a big job, and you can't just do that overnight. It takes time. But there are certain things you can do to elevate and speed up the process where heavier thoughts don't hang around so much, and it becomes a lot easier to hold lighter thoughts and feelings. So I don't naturally ingest a lot of, pointless media. I don't watch TV. I don't sort of drink alcohol. I've completely focused myself to self change and to changing my inner world, because I really want to see, if I focus everything on changing my inner world, how fast it is to actually start to see those changes catch up in my environment. So, no mindless entertainment. I've been reading books. I've been listening to audio books, Neville Goddard, Charles F. Hannell, the Master Key System, Kybalion. I've been audiobook, and I got a copy of it, which I've been keeping by the bed. I've been starting to apply some of the principles in the Kybalion along the lines of the law of polarity and instituting change and transmutation by applying a higher law to a lower law, or a higher energy to a lower energy. So how that's been applicable to me, say this week, I still wake up very early and I lay in bed awake with my eyes closed for quite some time before I get up. And whenever I wake up or become conscious, well before I get up, automatically I'm still in this old habit of negative thoughts just immediately assail my mind. Negative thoughts, regrets, doubts, that kind of thing. So what I've been doing I've been using some of Neville Goddard's principles to inject more of a positive inner dialogue into my subconscious mind at the point of inception by what I hold in my mind as I go off to sleep. But what I'm starting to do to apply a higher energy to a lower energy, and actually move and shift and transmute that lower energy to a higher energy. When I wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, and I get stuck in these negative mind loops, in the wee hours of the morning, is I've memorized a affirmation, which I pretty much know off by heart, but I have by my bed. So here, and I got this from up the top. This is from the Master Key System. I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. So that's what I'm using. As soon as I wake up in the morning and I find my mind, it's just automatically already there. It's like it's there before I wake up. It's going back to, it's wanting to review past decisions and situations critically. It's wanting to basically think negative thoughts about me. I meet those negative thoughts with an affirmation. So, and this has been one of the most positive applications I've found for affirmations. I haven't used affirmations a lot. It feels, to kind of have to walk around mechanically, repeating something over and over again. I'm like, it kind of seems like a strange or robotic way to do things. But in desperation this week, let me just put these in. I might pick up the audio a bit better. In desperation this week, I thought, well, I can't seem to get rid of this last niggle, this last negative wrinkle in the blanket. I wake up and it's there. This negativity's there, and it's earlier than I'd like to get up and meditate. I try and get up about 4:30 to meditate. And this is before that. I lay there in the dark, swimming in this negativity that feels like it's at odds or undoing all the positivity I've been doing during the day. So to fill that space, as the only alternative I had, and the only way I had to combat that was to just fill that space. I'm like, all right, well, I've got the same negative dialogue running around over and over and over again in my mind while I lay here in the dark. So positive affirmation's got to be perfect. I'm going to insert that into my mind and say that over and over again, because I'm already saying something negative over and over again. So perfect application for a positive affirmation. And off I go, lay there in the dark. I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And I picture the words, I visualize the words as I say it. And I was actually able to drift back off to sleep peacefully, which I don't normally do after doing that for only 2 mornings. So that's been a really positive application for a positive affirmation, probably the most useful application I've found for me ever. So like, for instance, if you're someone who struggles with anxiety during the night, insomnia, the mind's chatter can be so strong, then perfect time to lay there in the dark, have a positive affirmation on your bedside, or have a positive affirmation memorized, which is going to happen pretty quickly if you're repeating a positive affirmation anyway. Have it memorized and just hit that in the dark, visualize the words, say it over and over again, and it will replace that negative loop with a positive loop. So perfect application for that. So my other system that I've kind of developed for myself, for my daily pattern, I'm giving myself I'm just going to switch the camera around again. So I'm giving myself a score, a daily score. So there's my affirmation at the top. That's there to remind me. There's another affirmation I'm using a lot. I am as I will to be. For my morning meditation, and this is my daily system. For my morning meditation, I set my watch for 10 minutes to begin with. And it's on the countdown timer. And for 10 minutes, I repeat, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. For the first 10 minutes of my meditation, I repeat that silently, you don't have to say it out loud. I repeat that silently in my mind, and I visualize the words clearly, each word. And that gets me really focused in. It sort of calibrates my vibration into something really positive. So I'm there at a positive vibrational springboard to just leap into my meditation when I start. And it also focuses in my attention. The reason I don't say positive affirmations out loud, I find they're just as effective if you say them silently and internally. Really, you're trying to rewire the mind anyway. So filling the mind with that positive repetition is all that matters to give yourself that momentum and exercise to make change. But if you're doing it in your mind and not just your voice, you have to stay focused a lot more, because your mind will tend to want to wander. So I use this as an attention exercise, saying the affirmation, repeating it over and over again, Visualizing the words helps me to exercise my focus and my visualization, and sticking to it in my mind helps to exercise my attention. So 10 minutes of that, my attention is sharp, my visualizations are focused, my vibrations in a positive space, and I'm ready to. That's just perfect foundation for the meditation. The meditation, I'll use a theta binaural. I'm using Gateway Process at the moment from The Power of You. His stuff is awesome. Channel here on YouTube. But I will do half an hour at the moment, half an hour to 40 minutes, and I'm getting huge results. Like I am holding amazing frequencies, amazing feeling states. My visualizations are being really clear, especially the last 2 days. As I said, this is day 19. I've got a reminder here. So I've got my 3 affirmations and my reminder for my goal. This is from Nero's channel, Nero Knowledge. He does some really good stuff. I'm shifting internally to a degree where I'm no longer emotionally dependent on my environment. That is my goal with this whole human experiment, is to shift myself to a point on the inside where I'm no longer dependent on my external environment for how I feel. The tools that I'm using, I've got, as I said, I've quit bad habits. I don't ingest mindless stuff. Like I focus all my thought and all my time that is spare and all my feeling onto shifting my internal world and having control over it, having mastery of thought and feeling. And I've been doing this for 19 days. I have my imaginal exercises and my daily tools that I'm using. So my morning meditation, gratitude, visualization, as I've already mentioned. My daily exercise, my walk and run. So I find that when I'm moving, it's really easy for me to hold feeling states because I'm not in a stagnant state. And I like to focus on my next stage, my new life, and what I'm visualizing for next. When I'm around the house, I like to hold the feeling state that I'm in the house of my creation, my dream house. When I'm driving, I use that to like form suspension of disbelief and generate a complete imaginal feeling state that I'm driving my dream vehicle and I'm on holiday. And it's an endless holiday because I don't need to come home until I want to come home because money's not an issue. So I use driving as an exercise and a game because there's movement. I'm able to hold those states a lot easier. And for nighttime, at bedtime, I use my inception point, feeling state, visualization exercise as per Neville Goddard as I go off to sleep. And down here, what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a daily positive score. So this score is basically scoring out of 100% what my how positive I've been on a sliding scale in my thoughts and in my feelings. And I only started this yesterday. I've been wanting to do it for a while. And I surprised myself. I expected to hit maybe 50%. 50% is a great score for thinking and feeling positive. If you're an average human being, that 50, if you're half the time feeling good and carefree and positive about absolutely everything and thinking that way with half of your thoughts, you're actually doing really well. I surprised myself yesterday by honestly hitting an 80% score. Is what I gave myself. No point trying to trick myself. And I reckon I've done 80% again today, 2 days in a row. So I'm really stoked about that. There's been a huge shift the last 2 days. Like I said, it's day 19. I feel like I'm just before the point where if I stick with this, which I will, I'm starting to become magnetic. I've been here before. I recognize some of the signs, and I'm so grateful for that to be here. And the thing that has really made the biggest difference the last 2 days has been like for the first 17 or so days, I feel like I've been holding this weight up, like trying to lift myself, and it's been like holding a bag of rocks. That's how lifting myself has been. It's been this effort that I've had to maintain. And the only way to lift myself was to try and strain and keep this heavy weight up. It was all effort. It was most of the time not enjoyable. It was an effort constantly. But the last 2 days, it's like my thoughts, my feelings, and everything's actually naturally starting to go there. And rather than me having to hold a heavy weight up to try and raise myself, I feel like I'm starting to float. So I'm raising by myself, and I'm actually attributing that to I started to change my diet 3 days ago. I just kind of felt compelled to go that way. I've done it once before 10 years ago, and I had fantastic results at that time, and I wasn't sure how much I could attribute to diet, but I shifted back to my diet of it's foraged wild growing plants, and within 3 days of doing that, I'm not fasting. I'm eating minimally, but I'm not hungry. But it's as natural as food gets. This is wild growing plants, readily available. They haven't been planted by a person. They were planted by birds. And since I've been doing that, I've actually noticed a huge leap. And I think that's brought me to the point where I can say day 19, I'm actually really starting to feel the shift. So 19 days of changing my daily routine, exercise, eliminating bad habits, making an effort to retrain my thoughts towards being positive, and being self-love, having self-love as my highest priority, and choosing, instead of fear and anxiety about the future, choosing positivity and faith in the best that will happen and faith in myself. 19 days, and I am now starting to notice a huge difference. And I reckon by 30 days, things are going to be really, really elevating fast. So yeah, super happy. I could have done this quicker, I think, if I'd have shifted my diet earlier. But it's really starting to be a self-generating exercise now, where the reward from what I'm doing is what I'm doing, and it's just feeling better and better all the time. It's starting to take on that exponential feel. So yeah, definitely sticking with it. Starting to feel absolutely fantastic. It's taken 19 days for a real energy shift to start to take place, and I'm loving it. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next 10 days. But I feel magnetism, like the magnetic state is not far away, and synchronicities are, well, I already started to notice it today. So yeah, really interesting to see what's around the corner. Thanks for listening. Thanks, future me. I'll catch you in the next one with an update on how it's all going. Bye.